You found this video today because you are ready to clean out your past and move into a new beginning of your life. If my voice sounds a little bit different today, it is because I was screaming a bit yesterday, so it's a bit low. I'm going to show you today how to find peace with yourself and how to step into this new beginning of your life that is now waiting for you. And it is quite straightforward. It is about becoming a person that feels first and thinks second, and does no longer think first as to suppress what it is that's being felt. Because that is when the brain is leading instead of the heart. Your heart is supposed to lead the way forward into your new future. And the only way to do that is to become one with your heart again. And for that to happen, the thinking, the analyzing, the trying to do the right or wrong thing has to go. Because that was only ever a realm of the ego trying to suppress the heart. Because the heart knows what's right for you in this moment. It has clarity. It has the understanding and the direction that perhaps you've been seeking for the longest time, but that never came to you because the ego couldn't give that to you, and you were operating first from trying to figure something out that could never be figured out. The universe is always trying to clean out your past, and it is the most simple thing in the whole wide universe. But it becomes hard because we're always creating resistance to that happening by our overthinking, our analyzing, our comparing, our ideas about who it is that we should be in this moment. It's all just keeping us from what it is that we're searching for. Because what we're truly searching for on a deep level is to authentically feel who it is that we really are. And this confusion, these thoughts, this if I should do this, if I should do that, whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever it is that keeps coming up into your thoughts and that feels challenging, like you can't escape this, was only ever there because at some part of your life, you decided to stop feeling who it is that you really are and decided to start filtering it because you believe that I cannot be who I am. But now there's a new beginning waiting for your life. And there's no other way to enter into this beginning than by embracing who it is that you really are. And so one thing has to fundamentally change in your life. And that first comes with the understanding of that every single time that you have thoughts about thinking about if this is the right or wrong thing, or when you start analyzing or start overthinking, or you start feeling that confusion, to understand that this is all in this moment happening because you're approaching this present moment that we're existing in a way that is no longer going to work. You're approaching it in a way of that it has to change. That something has to change in this moment. All of these challenging things arrives from our need to change it. Of course, this happens a lot unconsciously. We're not even aware of the fact that we're actually doing this, that we're always trying to change something. Little do we understand that who we truly and authentically are is a force of change. But in order to be truly and authentically who we are, we must completely accept and acknowledge who it is that we are without trying to change it. When you rephrase your life from how can I do this? How is this going to change? How is this going to work out? How am I going to do this? Into what is being felt within me in this moment? What is trying to come through? What is here right now? in those moments when you are confused, when you are thinking those thoughts, when you are lost in those things that you've been lost in for so long, to start that conversation instead that brings you closer to what it is that you're actually feeling in this moment. Because when you're living purely authentically aligned with your heart, this confusion, these thoughts, this overthinking, these things that the universe is trying to move out of your life so that then you can enter in, doesn't exist. Because as long as those do exist, we cannot walk into this new beginning of life. And in order to let go of the old, we must first come into the presence and acceptance of it. We need to become one with it, integrate it, move through it, release a lot of it. And that cannot happen as long as you're trying to change it. Because it just has to be felt. You have to be who it is that you are again. And who it is that you are is always trying to move up to the surface. And on those days where it feels extra hard, where it feels extra challenging, where it feels like you're stuck in this fucking cycle again, that those are the most beautiful opportunities that you have to start connecting to what it is that you're feeling again. Because it is during those days that it's ready to be let go, that it's ready to be integrated back into who it is that you are again. And it all starts with this shift of trying to think our way through it, trying to fix and do something, into becoming surrendered to it. Because that's when these fucking lightnings of clarity starts hitting ourselves again. Because without being or understanding that we're whole and complete with these things, and as we're rejecting the truth of who it is that we are, we're always going to be confused. Because if you do not see the truth in this part of who it is that you are, then the truth of this cannot allow you to gain clarity about other things. Because you need this part of who it is that you are to not be confused, to not have those overthinking thoughts. Because they only ever arrived because we were rejecting this part of who we are. As the mind is continuously creating these drives and ideas about who it is that we should be right now, what it is that we should be focused on, what we should be craving, as to be continuously separated from it. That's the purpose of the brain. It keeps you safe. It's not here for your higher good. It keeps you safe momentarily from these things that you have buried about yourself, that you have a story and a belief attached to, that if I ever come into the presence of this again, I'm not good enough. I will be abandoned. I am not worthy. I'm not whole and complete. But you can allow the ego to rest now. Not by telling the ego to fuck off, but to say to the ego, I love you. And now you served your purpose. And I love you for all the work that you've done for me. But now it's time to be who I am again. And it's time to let go of all of that old that has been with me for the longest time, that is stopping me from now moving into this new part of my life. There is only peace. There's only clarity and knowing when you are connected deeply to your authenticity and into your heart. And that is the world that you're moving towards. Right now in this moment, the new beginning that you've been waiting for. To be who you are again. And all that's really in the way is that courageous first couple of steps of sitting down and allowing yourself to tune inwards during those very challenging days. When it feels like you really can't do that because you gotta stay active, you gotta stay distracted. But to realize in this moment right now, the universe is presenting to me the greatest opportunity to let go and be whole and complete again, to realize that I am whole and complete again, because you always were. The separation and these issues actually stems from our belief that we are not, but we are always whole and complete. And so as soon as you start acknowledging that and start allowing yourself to tune inwards in a way of embracing what is here and to not change it anymore, will your new beginning finally arrive.